Hello, Oh, heavens. No, it's nothing. I can just see myself in your mirror there. I did try to clean up somewhat before coming here, but I can see now that it didn't work at all. I suppose the better question would be what hasn't happened to me today. Oh, no, I can't sit down on your furniture, not like this. Thank you, though. However did you guess it was the first years? Yes, as I was saying last night, I did teach them the cure for boils today. And there were indeed explosions, there always are. I was prepared for that. What I wasn't prepared for was, well, I was walking about the classroom, monitoring each student's cauldron as usual. Yes, patrolling, as you like to call it. I passed two students whose cauldrons were in good working order, not bubbling at quite the correct rate, but nothing egregious or out of the ordinary. I've done this for so long. I know what to look for. Or I thought so, at any rate. But as soon as I passed them, I heard this terrible squelching noise behind me. I turned round and I don't know how they managed it. I don't know what they did, but their cauldrons had both erupted with this leaping, bubbling, purple muck. I didn't know what it was. I'm still not sure. The worst part was it seemed to have a mind of its own. Bits kept breaking away and sliding about the room, leaving these slippery little purple trails behind them. Yes, it was absolute pandemonium. You can't imagine. Students were screaming, leaping up into their chairs, tripping and knocking over their own cauldrons, just adding to the mess. Others, of course, were fascinated by the things and started chasing them about. One child got her foot stuck in a particularly large patch of the stuff, and refused to extricate herself by sacrificing one of her shoes and freeing her foot. It was creeping slowly up her leg, so I finally had to physically lift her out myself. After setting her free, I turned, stepped in the same patch, and slipped to the floor. No, no, I wasn't hurt. Thank you for asking. I don't know how many times I slipped. I lost count. That's how it got all over me like this. I shall probably have to buy new robes, and these were my best. And I would be very much concerned about losing my reputation amongst the first years if their attention hadn't been so occupied elsewhere every time I did slip. But what I came round to tell you was I shan't be able to come to dinner in the Great Hall tonight. I've only just now gotten the classroom scoured, and I've barely begun preparations for the Wolfsbane potion, but I thought you might be concerned about where I was, and that I should come and tell you. But, are you still interested in learning how the moonflowers should be prepared for the Wolfsbane? I'm glad to hear it. For the potion to be correctly brewed, we must start the process at precisely 10 o'clock p.m. You run along to dinner, and I'll have everything ready by the time you... No. No, I haven't eaten yet today. I forgot to, again. You don't have to give me that look. I promise I shall eat later after we've... Oh. Well, if you would like to... Of course, we could eat in my office. It's been somewhat damp in the dungeons today, but I have a fire going in there. Then shall we run to the kitchens and pick up something for ourselves? You know, I think after today I'd be partial to some buttered toast and raspberry jam. And tea. It's a fair amount of tea. That was very nice. I'm glad you enjoyed it too. 10 o'clock. Are you ready to begin? Then come. I was able to get the cauldron set up and the fire started. Would you mind stoking the fire a bit more, though? Yes, there. That's it. Very good. Just the right level of heat. Now we must begin with one of the only innocuous ingredients in this potion, water. Thrice purified, even the smallest of impurities can render the potion completely useless. Here, pour that in. Excellent. Now, for the Wolfsbane itself, also called monkshood or aconite, we will need both the petals and the tubers. Put on these dragon skin gloves, please. Yes, Wolfsbane too is poisonous to humans, but when handled correctly for lycanthropy, it heals rather than harms. I shall slice the tubers very thinly. They must be paper thin enough to see through. There. Can you see the fire through that? Here. You carefully remove the petals from these stalks, and take care not to tear them. That's the idea. Now put them in the water. In a moment they will turn it. Yes, there it is. A rich, brilliant blue. Just as it should be. Now for the tubers. And I will wager that you will not be expecting this ingredient. It is June beetle pigment. It contains a chemical compound that both activates and amplifies the physiological effects of the wolfsbane. Yes, potions is a very intricate discipline. Well, because it crosses over with all the other disciplines. Herbology, entomology, medicine, in this case astronomy. It requires dedication and skill, very much like yours. You may pour it into the cauldron carefully, but do stand back immediately after doing so, because it will cause the water to foam. See what I mean? It's settling down now. And the potion should be, yes, a metallic purple-green, just like the pigment itself. So, for the rest of the basic ingredients, powdered ginger root, your perfect purple water lily specimen we took our unexpected swim for, and, could you hand me that jar near your arm? Dried jasmine petals. Now, for the moonflowers. What with the dampness in the air today, I've kept them under a stasis spell so they would remain as pristine as they were when we picked them together. We're going to chop them carefully lengthwise, but you must use this knife. The blade is copper, coated with gold. Any other blade will cause the potion to fail. We must do this carefully so as to cut, but not to crush them. Take the knife in your hand. No, not quite like that. Here, give me your hand. Let me adjust it for you. I shall hold the knife too as you make the first slice to guide you. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, slice. Smoothly, smoothly. That's the idea. Keep going. Perfect, you've got it. Now, tumble them carefully into the potion. When they touch the water, the scent... Oh, yes. It is almost overpowering, but quite lovely. In approximately 30 seconds more, we should see the characteristic blue smoke that marks this as a successful batch of Wolfsbane. And there it is. It could not be more perfect. You see those spirals in the smoke, dancing with one another? Yes, that's what you must look for. Now, there is one more ingredient that I like to add. Here. Smell this. Do you know what it is? Yes. Yes, it is raspberry extract. No, it is not a usual ingredient in Wolfsbane. However, it does not alter the functions of the potion. Adding sugar, of course, makes it entirely useless, but this does not. It takes away some of the grotesque bitterness that the June beetle pigment puts in. Also, the floral with that bitterness is rather overpowering. I found the raspberry helps, at least Lupin says it does. And there. You can tell a difference in the scent already, can't you? Shall we carefully decant it? Into those sterilized bottles there to your right. I shall just label them with today's date. There. Beautifully done. I am proud of you. I hope that you are proud of yourself. You should be. And Lupin will be very happy when we make this delivery. Oh. Well, this is the second night in a row I have kept you out very late. We seem to be making a habit of it. I know we have a staff meeting tomorrow, but I hear it is supposed to be a mild evening. I considered slipping away, perhaps, to Hogsmeade, to pick up potions, ingredients, of course. But I shouldn't mind if you would like to accompany... That's the first time you've called me Severus. No, I'm glad you did. Please continue to do so. So, Hogsmeade, tomorrow evening it is then? I shall look forward to it. Yes, there is some tea left. No, I'm not tired either. You want to hear more about my adventures today? All right. I did save a sample of that purple muck. I thought it might be interesting for us to analyze, you see.